Andrew's drinking Madries. So the Madries, do you feel there's like a cycle with pubs with the foreign beers they bring in, and suddenly there's the beer that comes from the continent that is everywhere, and it's the trendy beer.
Yes.
It was Birra Moretti.
Still is.
Birra Moretti didn't have a big... Yeah, it is a shout, but have you seen it's being moved along the taps?
Do you think there's a hierarchy of taps?
Well, I'm just saying that it's...
Madri is suddenly everywhere.
It's everywhere. And
it's good, though.
It's good, yeah. But I thought the same about Birra Moretti, and now I'm like, I'm not as big a fan of it.
of Birra Moretti.
So it must be a boredom thing, or is it mental?
You do. I think you do get bored of beers. Like, I go through Guinness phases on a regular basis. And those are the beers I don't really get bored of. Like, I could always basically have a Guinness.
It's the definition of a classic.
It is. You're bang on. You're bang on. But I do find after, Guinness I could do maybe for, 6 months. But like
cold months.
Yeah, no, I've done. Yeah, you're right. But they can come over into some heat. I was drinking Guinnesses on like Sunday. But what I find is with a lager beer, you do find yourself hating the taste of it. I think because of the nature of alcohol, making you hungover, essentially being, poison for your system. Your body starts rejecting it after a few weeks. So you've got to switch up the hops and switch up the barley to bring in something new.
Yeah, it's when you wake up from a bad hangover and it's like you've got that slight Birra Moretti. It's
so that's why they're bringing the Madries. Because the whole country's been hungover on Birra Moretti in the last year.
So on the front cover of Birra Moretti, you've got that old geezer.
The fella.
He is a far more trustworthy geezer than this smug prick. All right? I like Madri, but this flat cap wearing, smug little geezer, young guy.
He looks like he's one of the 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah. There's something incredibly smug about him. I don't like the flat cap.
No, I hate the flat cap.
Yeah.
You don't want to be drinking a beer from someone that's that happy to make it.
No. Birra Moretti, the old geezer on there, the old Italian fella,
wholesome.
It also felt like it was more of a duty.
Yeah.
Like he's from the generation where it doesn't even enter his mind whether he enjoys it or not because he's doing
his
it out.
His great-grandfather and his great-grandfather have been making beers, whereas this cunt's just in it for the money.
Exactly. I don't like this geezer at all.
He's more, he wants to be more of like a personality that also makes beer, rather than doing it for the love of the beer craft.
I mean, matching flat cap with waistcoat. Come on, lad.
With a big red flower, like he's in The Godfather.
Yeah.
He's got his blinking thumbs in his pockets.
Yeah. He's so smart.
He's got his blinking thumbs in his pockets.
Is his name Madri?
I hope not.
Yeah, it better not be.
It's probably something like Carlos.
Do you feel Spanish or Italian beers, they both hit similar things, but they got a slight difference? If you, off the bat, who would you say you vibe with more?
Pub, Spanish. Restaurant, Italian.
Interesting. Can you expand for the listeners at home?
Yes. Hiya, listeners at home. Welcome to the podcast.
Here's one we made earlier.
Here's one. Yeah. I suppose it depends on the restaurant, but there's something about getting an ice cold grande Peroni at a restaurant on an ice glass that will always hit different. I feel an Italian beer is maybe a bit richer, a bit fuller, whereas a Spanish beer is lighter.
It's called cerveza. That's how you say beer in Spanish. Cerveza. And even the sound of it is they don't spend any time on any depth.
There is surface level word.
Cerveza.
It's a word that scratches at the surface of itself.
Yeah.
But you want the hearty. You're sitting down for a meal with your loved ones. You want the stocky. You've gathered the family. You're going to serve them Madries? No. You're going to show them you love them by serving them up Peronis.
But I don't actually like Peroni anymore. But I remember when I first drank Peroni when I was a butter man.
And you went
to a young boy.
Went to a different world.
It was more like, oh, fuck it. It was just the definition of class, you know?
Ass.
Well, yeah. But in the way that your taste in ass refines as you become older.
Absolutely.
I feel.
Yes. Do you mean like actual butts?
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you're a young man, it's the closer to the cartoon drawing of a butt is what would turn you on. But the older you get, basically, the more trauma you have, the more life throws at you, the more complex the ass.
Yes, preach.
Do you know what I mean? Like every breakup, the more into stretch marks you get. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Every time you've been emotionally abused,
Sure.
the arse.
You want bigger love handles.
Sort of, but I mean, it's more. There's a diversity of asses.
Right. So you think when we're like 11, just starting
It's
to...
like a cartoon-shaped butt.
All you want is a line and then a circle and another line. But then when you get older, you want like warts.
Yeah.
You want
Well, when you're like in your
blemishes.
80s, like I'd say, like you know those old Ukrainian.
Well, that's quite a nice thought because as we age, so will our sexual preferences. So the most you'll be attracted to is women your age. Maybe that's how it works.
I don't think it is, judging by men.
Who complain about their women.
Well, just about the behaviour of older men in general.
And like Leonardo DiCaprio, his girlfriend is an age that's young.
But he hasn't been. I don't think he's been torn up by life yet. You know. I think
No.
that's probably why, because he's had a bit of an easy ride. I reckon
He doesn't
that's
want
why.
stretch marks.
That's why he wants a tight little ass.
Yeah.
Whereas
A
those
purr.
old babushka ladies, when you had the Sky News Ukrainian,
Yeah.
well, it was stick it with men, were just like an old Ukrainian man who's seen, maybe in his lifetime, he might have even lived through the horrors of
A
Stalin.
lot of toil.
Yeah. The kind of asses that guy's into,
Yeah.
he's the wokest guy when it comes to asses because he'll
Sure.
just take anything.
Does it apply to the boobies as well?
No.
No. So you want pert titties, but you want an ass that's been weighed down by the weight of life.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you want an ass.
That's
that
like, you
is-
know what, like a
you
lived
want
face.
an ass that
That's
is as
lived.
weighed down as you are, as weathered by life as you are.
Yeah. You know those old photos of like the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl photos? They're kind of like
Where were
iconic,
the
but-
ass pics? you tell me.
Do you know the ones I'm talking about? There's like these these really detailed portraits of these kind of like dried out faces with all these wrinkles that tell so much. There's so much story.
There's the narrative within the wrinkles.
I want to see.
You want to see that on
of
your
just-
girlfriend,
No, I just want to see it of the asses at the time.
right?
So it's not the faces. It's just ass after ass.
So you want to see like pre-depression.
No, Jay, it's Dust Bowl.
Yeah, but like you need to see the journey of the ass.
Okay.
So pre-depression, you want to see pert tight little numbers walking around, and then during the depression, suddenly it hits the asses.
Yeah.
It's a side effect of the depression that's not regularly discussed.
It's not. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to add a new take to the discourse.
Is your ass getting more weathered?
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I'd hope it's not getting less weathered. It'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Well, is it just, have you noticed weathering?
Well, it's getting bigger.
Well, because I guess you have one.
Yeah, because
for the first time.
I have one for the first time, and I've just noted, and then, I definitely think it's going. I mean, I recently, speaking of Italian beers, I have just spent time on the continent, which if you've listened to the podcast, will know that whoever spent time last on the continent ultimately becomes the authority on taste and decency.
Correct.
So Andrew, when he went to France, was one of the last people to go on the continent. He was the authority for a couple of months.
Although you just said I went on a sex tour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true, but the rules are rules.
The rules are rules.
I don't make the
It
rules.
was when I went to Napoli, I think. Was the last time I went to the continent.
No, you went sex tourism in Paris.
Yeah, but wasn't Napoli after that?
No. It was the Christmas episode 2 years ago.
Yeah, when did I go to Napoli? Fuck it. I believe
2.5
you.
years ago.
I never
First
know.
summer of COVID.
I never know about these things.
So I went to Milano,
Right.
which is like their city where people live. Like real people live. So it's like
Got cities where people live over there.
Yeah, I know, but Italian cities where it's like it's all kind of ludicrously. What Italians are good at aesthetically is just caking it on, but still pulling it off. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Where
yeah.
they like it's not less is more, is more,
Yeah.
but it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a
I'm
lot
with you.
of trashy stuff is because they've just gone piled on a lot of stuff. I went to Vienna like 6 or 7 years ago. The interiors of that church, too much gold. It's
Too
like,
much
guys,
gold.
it's not tasteful just because it's more. They
Yeah.
don't get it. It's just like it was too much. I was like,
Beauty is difference.
yeah.
Sit on that one.
Yeah.
Chill on that one.
But yes, and then Milan is like there where there's it's not a tourist city. It's a real city. But it's nice. It's
Milano.
It's the fashion capital.
It is. Is it quite? Can you see that?
Yes.
You
So
can. Is everyone wearing long black coats?
No. Well, I was actually disappointed by the actual fashion. I think probably the fashion would seem better in Paris. I prefer the fashion in London. It's a lot more edgy and trendy.
Yeah.
But in Milan, the fashion is very classic. So
Yes.
like, there's a lot of like
Rules.
there are rules, but it kind of looks a bit, So Prada, Gucci, Dolce, the shops are everywhere, and the signs that are the billboards, the skyscrapers with the name on it. The most amazing shopping centre I've ever seen. It's like an ancient one that was made in the 1800s, which looks like the Sistine Chapel, and inside it is Prada. Is it? Yeah.
Budgeons.
Debenhams.
Greggs. Yeah, got it.
The only people who can afford the floor space.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like men wearing sort of like quite metrosexual shirt and blazers, white shirt, trousers, but then white shoes, but not like Reebok white shoes,
Loafers.
which are like No, they're white trainers. But do you know white trainers that are built for smart wear?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Those are rancid.
Yeah, not like vintagey like tennis shoes or squash shoes.
That's horrible.
They're like these kind of brands that try to make it like. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff.
The material looks stiffer than a trainer.
And then all the women wearing like quite colourful dresses, and it was like, okay, I was like, I've heard a lot about Milan fashion. It's not, maybe it's because it's so timeless. It's like it's kind of lame.
Well, the addition of the trainers isn't timeless.
No,
that's.
I guess it's trying to stay within the. They did have it. They're
trying to modernise.
Yeah. But that's like the funny sort of dichotomy of Italy is. Was the word dichotomy that threw you out?
Yeah, oh jeez.
Fucking hell.
I guess we're coming through it already.
Is in this nation so filled with a history of beauty, like you'll have the Colosseum, you'll have the Renaissance art, you will also have a man wearing like leather trousers with a Ferrari belt buckle and a mesh vest.
You've got to celebrate the culture.
Yes, but it's just the contrast between ancient Italy and modern Italy.
Yeah.
With the kind of taste and style,
yes.
That's always makes me laugh.
Yeah,
because you'll have the trashiest people surrounded by the most beautiful things that have ever existed.
So you didn't rate the fashion of the average Milanian.
Well, Milan was like, obviously, I was holding it to quite high standards, so I was a little bit disappointed. But
right.
And when I say
have you been before? No.
But I was talking about just general Italians, and you can spot Italians walking around. They'll be the ones that will wear like the big polo.
I mean, you'd think most of the people in Milan are Italians.
Yes, but that obviously would be the more stylish end of Italians. Do you know what I mean?
So who are we spotting?
I'm just saying your average Joe.
Yeah.
You're Giuseppe.
You're Luigi.
I just think it's funny to me. You can often see them, often in the shadow of a great priceless piece of art.
Right, yeah.
You can see them.
With big belt buckles, yeah. I do see that, yeah. I always find myself very akin to the Italian people.
Sure.
I seem to be treated very well in Italy.
Yeah.
I think I'm one and the same as the Italians.
Yeah.
We speak the same language, even though we don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
Waiters are always very nice to me.
Okay.
I'm always very nice to waiters.
Okay.
There was when I went to Napoli.
Unlike other countries.
No,
where
I spit at them. Bring me my meal and don't talk to me. But there was, because when I went to Napoli, I just have a kinness with them. And there was one, for instance, we went to this bar and I was ordering whiskies. Which is kind of the best thing you can do in any bar. If you order whiskies, they immediately...
Not sounding super Italian, but I'll hear you out.
No, hear me out. Whoa, easy there.
Not a big start.
Calm down there. But so I went in and went to go and get everyone a round of drinks and then ordered whiskey and started, yeah, that's me. Drinks on Drew this evening, I said, and they went, yay. Go in there, order in a whiskey, order the other stuff. Start talking about whiskies with the guy. End up staying at the bar for a good couple of hours, and he's just giving me samples of whiskies.
Are your friends just waiting there?
Yeah, they were livid. They were absolutely livid at me. Because I also then came out completely fucked compared to the rest of them. Yeah, they obviously came in and got their own drinks, but I did stay.
Did you say you were going to go get them drinks?
Yeah.
And then they came to check on you?
Yeah, but then you fall in love with an Italian barman.
What are you gonna
and
do?
he starts giving you free whiskey saying, hey, what do you think of this one? And I say, I think that's delicious.
They do have that charm to them, do they?
And
I was charmed by a barman as well.
But I think I can turn on the charm when I need to or want to. And I think that's what me and Italians share. And it can be quite superficial. I'm not sure how much that me and the Italians' love goes onto a deeper, more meaningful level.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I also went into a great conversation with a barman who said that he has a wife in England, and he was going to go visit her in Basingstoke, and it was a very classy.
From Milan to Basingstoke.
It was a very classy bar, but then he was chatting shit about Italian beers and saying that he loved English beers. But that's when I was like, oh, you're actually just a very skilled flirter with guests, because then he was like. And then I could just see he was just trying to remember the beers that he'd seen in the shops.
Yeah.
So he said Carling.
A French person comes in. He prefers the French beers.
But
He's got a wife in Normandy.
He said to me, Carling. And I'm like,
that made
and
red
like,
flag.
obviously he thinks I'm gonna go, oh yeah, Carling, because
We all love it here.
No, Carling. We agree is shit.
It's the worst.
I mean, it's
one
the
in
worst
world.
branded beer of all time.
Yeah, it's like grey.
It's black and it looks like shit you'd. It looks like antifreeze.
Yeah,
It looks like the shit you'd use.
to get like ice off your car. Yeah, no, it does actually,
It looks like it's gonna like destroy your insides because it's like, so acidic.
and it does kind of taste like it.
And then then I said no one likes Carling. He goes Newcastle Brown Ale, which it was
that's
it was a
knowledge.
bit better. But I'm just saying that he was more trying to prove his knowledge than his actual passion for British beers.
Right. Well, I don't know. He could have liked them, but I see it's the flirtatiousness, and I guess you don't want to be conned as a customer. You want the real thing.
Well, it sounds a lot like you're a guy who'd gone to a prostitute and
Me.
yeah, and it just felt like you guys had a real connection, and you're
Yeah.
telling everyone it's like I think she
liked.
I paid her, but
Yeah.
I think she would have done it for free.
Yeah. Yeah. She said she's going to kill me back and everything.
But yeah, I ate.
What was your dining like?
Just
Surely filled with pizza.
I had some pizza. Yeah.
All right.
But mainly pasta. I ate a lot of pasta.
What kind of pasta? I want the sauce and I want the pasta.
So I actually got quite a few images of the pasta I had, so I had them playing. But I had an unbelievable.
I bet you'll put them up now because I bet we're seeing them right now because they're your fucking images. You can never be bothered.
Yeah,
to
but
put
you
them
can never be bothered to send them to me.
Yeah, well, you're fucking
Yeah,
lame. Man.
exactly. So then I'll be editing late at night, and
Yeah,
I'll
but
be
I also you forget like I don't send them to you because sometimes you don't ask me, and I can't remember what we said on this podcast.
Yeah,
Can't remember what I said 5 minutes ago.
he's not doing good, our Andrew.
It's so tough out there.
I ate a lot of gnocchi. I got back into gnocchi.
Gnocchi, really?
What? Do you not like gnocchi?
Yeah, it's like the least good for me because it's too much mush.
Yes.
Hey, you should be on that.
No, I used to be, but when you're in Italy, you try these things.
Is gnocchi even Italian?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It seems like Asian to me.
No. Okay. No. But it's like little. No. I ate a lot of gnocchi. I ate something called like fugali or something, which is like a.
Fugazi.
It's a mix between risotto and pasta that I'd never tried before.
Oh, how can you have a mix between risotto and pasta?
So it's like small balls of pasta, very small balls.
So where's the risotto element?
It's shaped like risotto, basically, and
It's shaped like risotto.
it's the sort of it has a similar consistency.
To stodgy rice.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's pasta.
right.
Carries flavours.
No idea how that works, but we'll move
yeah.
on.
So that's the thing about Italian food is it's like obviously we've said that Italian food is probably our favourite. I love Chinese food.
If we had to eat something for the rest of our lives.
I love Chinese food. I love Asian food, but I just know if you're in China and you're walking down, you just pop into some little place.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's going to be good or not.
Oh, well, from my experience in Vietnam,
Yeah.
everywhere was bang on. Like it was every street place you'd go, like you could literally go anywhere. It was dirt cheap and it was fucking delicious almost every single time.
Maybe. I feel like in Italy you could roll down a hill and land in someone's
In a
kitchen.
bowl of pasta.
And it's just always going to
Perfectly seasoned.
Yeah, exactly.
You become a perfectly seasoned pasta boy. I think that's just everywhere other than England.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
Where else?
Well, my sister says South America has bad food.
Really?
Really bad food. Argentina has steaks and stuff, but apparently it's very primitive, like rice and shit. I don't think you'll find great food in Africa a lot of places, apart from some of the food centres like Ethiopia and stuff.
Okay.
Morocco. But
Yeah, I think, mate. Okay.
all of Northern Europe sucks.
Yeah.
Russia is some of the worst cuisine I've ever tried.
Yeah.
Russian salad can eat my ass.
Can it?
It can eat my ass.
Well, that's quite an impressive feat.
It's an incredibly
That's what you want.
toxic salad.
That's what you want with a salad.
Yeah. It's diced.
Dinner and a show.
It's diced like salad in mayonnaise.
Ooh, that sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it's because they don't have a lot of access to fresh stuff, so it has
Yeah.
to be tinned.
Tinned mayonnaise.
Yeah. Well, just stuff that doesn't have
Everything's
to be
just
fresh.
yeah.
So Russia's food sucks my ass. Canadian food, they're not bringing much to the table.
Does that suck your ass as well?
That does suck my ass. I feel Mexican food is amazing as it is. I don't think
I
it's...
sense a new travel cooking show coming along.
Yeah, well...
Does it suck my ass with Horatio Gould?
That's good.
Just you trying salads going, yep, this sucks my ass.
An interesting fact that I learned
Factoid alert.
from prolonged periods of my sister.
Doing, doing.
Most obese country in the world. What
Let me
do you think it
guess.
is? Go on.
Most obese country in the world.
Most obese.
I feel like I'm on QI. I'm going to say the USA and the sirens are going to go off. The most obese country in the world might surprise you. Is Italy.
It's the United States. No, imagine if it was.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was. What is Mexico? They have the highest obesity rates in the world.
That's really odd, isn't it?
It is odd.
Why?
And so my sister was out there recently. She said the problem is you can't get anything that's not fucking deep fried or like really
Yeah.
bad for you or stuff like that.
It's good shit though.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Mexico. I think that's my favorite cuisine. If I had to pick one for the rest of my life, Italian. But Mexican is my favorite cuisine.
If you're having
I was
like,
younger,
you're like one special day cuisine. would
Yeah,
be
Mexican.
That's like your big special day.
big special day. When I was younger, Mum would say we're having fajitas, and I'd be sent into a frenzy. I'd then consume too many fajitas. That every single time I had fajitas, I'd like have a horrible stomachache afterwards because I would just shove them down because I'd try to get as many in my mouth as possible.
Look, a lot of the time. Oh,
Are we doing? We're back. The camera went off briefly, but hello again.
So yeah, 'cause, I realised the camera had gone off because I was literally
about to say, are we doing a bit to camera?
Yeah, I was doing an aside to camera, and I realised none of you were watching.
Yeah. They're not there. Where have you gone? Right.
But yes, Andrew often talks out his arse on this podcast, and he'll often
My arse?
Yeah, he talks directly.
You're
out
the
his
one who's just been banging on about weathered bums. When do I talk about my
That's
bum?
No,
that wasn't even about my
bum. Talking
bum.
about your bum out of your arse.
Oh.
You're a liar, and you're a manipulator, and you're an abuser. But I can vouch for this about you and the fajitas because
Yes.
I've actually witnessed you go into your fajita coma multiple times. I'd say maybe 4.
Yeah, which it doesn't sound a lot.
I've seen you eat so many fajitas that you're retching in pain.
Yeah.
Like in immense pain.
Now, but I go back for more.
Yeah.
I will never change my fajita consumption because I am a man of simple, short-term pleasures. We do not think about the future in my world.
No.
We think about, wow, I love guacamole and chicken.
Because it is interesting is also your
Now I
eating habits.
fancy fajitas tonight. I haven't had them in a while.
It's interesting your
And
eating habits because you really are disciplined with not snacking or
Never
anything like
snack.
that. But then you
Go
it
to
just-
town. Why don't I snack? So I can go the heck in town with my dinner. I don't even have a big lunch.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a dinner boy.
Yeah.
I will die for dinner.
You're a dinner guy.
I will die in the dinner hill.
Yeah.
Because I can't eat breakfast anyway. Just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not in my DNA to eat breakfast. I love a lunch, don't get me wrong. But I love a nice, English, quaint, disciplined lunch.
Discipline. It's
Ham and
unpretentious.
There is nothing interesting going on. Ham and cheese sandwich, some crisps, and maybe some cocktail sausages
Yeah.
with mustard. My lunch revolves around mustard. Okay, dinner. That's when we go crazy.
That's where. Oh my god,
that's a good one.
Crazy.
That's a big one.
That's crazy.
Keep
That's
talking.
really.
That's
That's going for a
unbelievable.
while.
You've
That's
gotta
going
keep
for
going.
so long.
You gotta
That's
keep-
going for so long. It's not stopping.
That's
It's still
unprecedented.
going. This is unprecedented. I can't
This is
really
the biggest
breathe
one we've
because
had.
it's going to go. So I think
You
it's
can't keep
1,
talking.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, that was fucking astonishing.
insane.
That's the best one we've ever had.
That was extraordinary.
That was unprecedented.
Because I actually had a mini one before, but it wasn't enough for me to
No,
mention.
we just
But
witnessed
then-
history there.
Yeah, that was extraordinary.
That was extraordinary.
You got it on camera. Thank the
Thank
camera
God.
was off there.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
yeah. But
By the way, I'm drinking. I'm getting. This is great gin that I got for Christmas. Rosmelin Distillery. It's not even sponsoring us, but great gin. And I'm having it with peach iced tea. Which, as I said on the podcast before, I'm trying to push this as a.
you
regular
look like an
cocktail.
alcoholic, bro. There, your hands are shaking so much.
I'll put too much gin in there.
No, it's fine. It's just there was water at the bottom.
Okay, I hope so because I don't have enough iced tea to fucking.
Now here is look. Wow. Okay, Andrew. So you're a fajita fanatic, you say. So what's your recipe of fajitas? Well, viewers, I say, if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. Okay.
Old El Paso.
Old El Paso bangs any. That's annoying. Old El Paso bangs everything out the shitting window. It's pointless. Old El Paso have perfected the spice mix. Yeah. So how dare you have the audacity to think that you, in your kitchen, could whip up anything that is moderately like the Old El Paso spice mix. I've done creamy Cajun and cheesy pasta. I've done it. I've been there. I've bought the apron. However, it is never going to hold a fucking glimmer of similarity or comparison to Old El Paso fajitas. They've got it right. Stop being rude.
Okay. And do you think people are being rude about them?
I think people are being rude by attempting to do anything other than Old El Paso.
Okay. Do you think you'd go to Mexico?
Yes.
And be like,
it's not Old El Paso. I will go to Mexico with 20 sachets of Old El Paso original barbecue.
What, in your bag?
In my hand luggage, just in case they serve food on the plane.
Because you can't trust
anyone. And I'll go
anything.
around and I will just sprinkle it in to street vendors.
And
then their profits will double. They'll soar. And they'll go, who is this Englishman who knows our food better than us?
I would argue the key part of the Old El Paso mix is the onion powder.
What? You've been chaotic in the last 2 minutes.
I think it's the onion powder.
You think it's the onion powder?
I think it's the onion powder.
There's onion powder in all Cajun spice mix.
Maybe.
It's not a maybe.
My brain's gone.
Do you want me to talk about fajitas?
Yeah, carry on.
Now, I've been making my own guacamole more recently. I've got mixed feelings about it because you kind of want the chemicals that they put in like Tesco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It tastes too fresh. And also, I've recently come to the pretty fair...
I think fresh. I prefer freshy fresh.
Well, that's...
What about like burrito things when they have fresher stuff?
But let me hecking get to my point.
Okay.
I've recently come to the fair conclusion that I am kind of allergic to fruit.
Yeah, because you never liked... Yeah.
I just can't do it. And the thing is, when I have it really fresh, because I had it from Chipotle and I got extra guacamole, and that's really good guacamole and it's quite fresh. It made me sneeze to fuck.
You sneeze because of fruits?
Yeah. I honestly got so sneezy. It's really weird.
What I'm learning as I grow older is that everyone has a different, weird, randomly assorted set of quite specific dietary requirements.
Yeah.
Like everyone seems to have just random shit that just doesn't sit well with them. And a lot of the time it's not even stops becoming about a taste thing. Yeah. A lot of the time it's your body rejecting it, not your mouth.
There's some sort of deep-rooted ancestral trauma that's happened that stops you eating that. Like my great uncle Patrick.
Yeah.
Probably, had a run-in with an avocado. Yeah. An avocado fell on his head.
So if I was a Scientologist...
Do avocados grow on trees?
That's a good question. I think they do.
They must do. They don't look like a root thing.
They seem like they hang.
Yeah, they must hang
heavy.
They've got to hang and then they fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very plausible story.
If I was a Scientologist, what I'd say to that trauma... Oh my
you
God.
are fucking... Pack it in, mate.
That's insane.
Pack it in.
If I was a Scientologist, what I'd say to that trauma it would be during processing.
Yeah, I got my hands on the electrodes.
It's not. It'd be. I don't know what it is. I don't know how.
No, that's so.
There's not electrodes.
Well, they're like orbs.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's more just like a therapy session.
No, they've got the things. They've got like the hands that monitor stuff. You've seen the Master.
No, they didn't have a hand that monitors stuff.
Yes, they did. They had hands. They had hands, but their hands were touching these things.
Yes, yeah.
And they check
when
your
electrodes,
meters.
for some reason, I thought it was one of those balls where the lightning tips touch your
No,
thing.
it's not just like shit you get in the science museum, where your hair sticks up, like my morning hair. See, structure.
Yeah, it's become a deep narrative. If I was a Scientologist, I would go, all right, so your Uncle Patrick ran into
and I'd say, tell me something I don't know.
Ran into an avocado.
He ran into one.
He had a run-in with an avocado.
Well, that seems more like it's his fault.
He had a run-in with an avocado.
Yeah.
And due to that deep-lying trauma... No, because it wouldn't be about your uncle. And what they'd say is the reason why you're allergic to fruit isn't your Uncle Patrick. It's not. It's your many past lives.
Yeah.
It was you...
We're past living it.
Yeah, it was...
Right.
It was you in the Regency period, 1700s in England.
Yeah.
Powdered wigs and the beauty spots.
I've got like the rouge on.
Slipped on an avocado and died. You broke your spine.
Died.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that trauma passed
So then I'd
down.
argue, why do I like guacamole so much? And to be honest, I love avocado. Just if I eat too much of it, it makes me sneeze.
Well, maybe the reason why he died
Right.
is because he was so excited about the guacamole.
Perhaps he was even an avocado farmer. In the 1700s in England.
Well, it wouldn't be in England. It would have been in the colonies, in Virginia.
Right.
Right. That was the exact period. It'd be in the New World.
Yeah.
It's a pioneer.
He's a pioneer. So avocados run in my blood. Yet at the same time,
You cut me open, I bleed.
I bleed.
I don't bleed. It's more.
It kind of seeps out. Like you have to really.
What's it called when if you cut open, you're filled with avocado? How would that?
And
What would it
you'd
be
have
called?
to push it out. It would like.
Well, no. If I cut your belly, how would it come out?
It would like pour out.
No, it wouldn't pour, would
It
it?
would like slop.
It'd slop out.
Slop out.
But
yeah,
it's thick. It's
slop
heavy.
Out. It would like. Oh.
We don't English. Most words of any English language don't have a word for
flop.
if you had a belly full of avocado and you
flop out. It would
No, because
flop
flop
out.
is like
Oh, it
jelly.
would-
Flop would be hard jelly,
hard jelly.
consistent jelly.
Is jelly a liquid, solid, or a gas?
It's a gas. It's clearly a gas, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a stupid question. It's obviously a gas.
The idea of eating gas.
It's a gas. Oh dear. Sorry for the stupid question. One of the proudest academic moments I have is when I was in my year 5 science class, and Mr. Rowland was explaining.
Sorry.
Mr. Rowland, don't itch your eyes. They're already watering. Mr. Rowland was explaining solids, liquids, and gases. And I put my hand up and said, "Well, sir, riddle me this. What's fire?"
And he quit.
And he left his job. He was actually fired because he couldn't answer my question. And then I got the job.
And what did he say?
He said, because, well, he prefaced, he
Isn't
started
it it's more of an act.
He's,
Fire
it's
is
more
sort
of an
like
act of revolution.
No, but it's more. No. Fire in some weird way is more less of a thing. It's
Yeah.
more of like.
It's a concept.
It sort of is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a concept. No, so he prefaced it with everything.
It's an adjective.
I think now, look, he was talking to kids in year 5, but he didn't realize he had, a guy. This is also when I was like a very, very average student.
Yeah, you went Megamind like.
Yeah.
This is not. We'll talk about it after this.
Yeah.
But it is very.
It's hilarious. I was like,
You were quite thick.
I was
Well, no,
like-
you're actually just average.
yeah, I was like so average at everything.
Andrew, when I met Andrew, he was like. You even carried the sort of
Just didn't really get it.
cheekiness of someone who's not that good at school.
Yeah.
So you're gonna fuck around.
Yeah.
And then you just exploded into this
the
like
sun-
academic machine.
I don't know what happened.
You were just like the average middle set. I don't really care about this stuff. You know.
Yeah, a stunted development, I guess. I was surprised as all of everyone else was.
Yeah, it was weird.
But no, he prefaced it with everything. Everything can be categorized into either a solid, liquid, or gas. And now I think he was probably, dumbing it down for the year 5s.
Yeah.
But he didn't have this average student in there. And so he said it was an energy. And I went, so why did you lie to us earlier? To which he had no response. And he resigned in the
with immediate effect.
with immediate effect. He resigned. What happens in the army when you resign badly?
Court-martialed.
It wasn't that far.
He
wasn't-
got court-martialed by the school.
He was shot. What's the fucking dishonorably?
Yeah, dishonourable discharge.
Dishonorable discharge. That's what they
Cool when
call it when you have a curry.
Because I shit myself.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I was going to go more on female ejaculate.
Whoa.
Because that's actually
My mum's listening.
discharge, which I feel sorry to make a side observation, but this is
Sure.
this is calling to the bar
Yeah.
when you call the judge. This is a
Yes.
side observation. Why do they call female
Sidebar.
ejaculate discharge when discharge is such a open term?
Do they?
Yeah.
No, discharge is like.
What's female jizz called?
Whoa. I resent the leading question. Come.
No,
Yep. Yep.
that is
Discharge is like just the liquids that fall out during normal life.
So
Vaginal discharge is a...
what's female ejaculate called? Not using a word that's used for both. You know, sperm.
Right, yeah. It's semen.
Semen.
Can we look it up? I don't have my phone. I would like to know. Because discharge is something they use, like, because you...
Oh, someone just pledged during the pod.
Hey, congrats. Yeah.
$4 from Annie. So,
Annie, thank you.
Shouts out, Annie. Remember, if you pledge a patronage between the hour
4 and 6 on a Wednesday, you'll get a mention on the live big pod. It's not live.
Female ejaculate.
Name. Scientific medical term. I don't think it's going to be discharge because I think that's just what happens naturally on a woman's vagina on a daily basis.
It's also known colloquially as squirting, brackets, or gushing.
Well, that's more the verb. We need the noun. Discharge is what, like, you know discharge. You know. It's a very...
No, we're not getting anything here. But I've heard...
Well, because it's mostly urine.
Yeah, it's just that...
Well, because semen, I think it's different because semen contains the sperm.
Anyway.
Whereas discharge, like, the female cum is just like, you know, liquid from the depths.
Yeah, it's not really specific.
It hasn't got any purpose in itself.
To be honest, I think it's a mixture of many other things, whatever's lying about.
It's whatever's lying about. It's whatever they've got kicking down.
You know, like the history of the pasty, the Cornish pasty.
Naturally.
No,
I don't.
Cornish miners, their wives, on Monday morning after a Sunday roast, whatever was left, they'd chuck into pastry, and then the rind at the top was a natural handle.
So and then they came on it?
No. So you'd have dirty hands because you'd be mining coal.
Yes.
So you'd have the handle there. That's why the pasty is shaped like that.
So that you didn't have to get coal on your pastry.
So you didn't have to get coal on your pasty. But and so it was...
You did get coal in your pasty because the handle was still part of the pasty.
Fine. So that's just what was lying about. That's what I imagine the body's doing.
Do you think that's what's inside the female vagina?
Well, no, not. But I'm just saying, if we're expanding it as an analogy, when the workers inside the female analogy, it's like, oh shit, we're coming. Just get anything we've got.
So you're the workers of the inner vagina.
Yeah, and we're like, she's coming. Just throw anything out.
Which I guess why most of it is piss.
Yeah,
because that's what's lying about.
That's quite, and it's going to be mainly meat, in the pasty. So, with the bits of carrots and veg and stuff.
Are you talking about the pasty of the vagina?
No, I'm saying that the analogy would be mostly meat.
Because I'd like to ask some questions about your sex life if women are spurring out carrots. You do eat a lot of carrots.
Yeah.
Maybe you've left a couple in there. Sorry, this is getting quite grotesque now.
This was meant to be a sidebar.
Yeah. The judge has gone denied.
What were you talking about before?
We were just talking about the name of female...
No, that was the sidebar.
Was it?
I did a sidebar to an actual topic.
Well, the last thing I remember is fajitas, but we're long gone
discharge.
From that.
You said discharge in a non-sexual
science teacher.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the end of it.
Okay, good.
That fire is technically an energy. And I said, yeah.
Okay, well, we've come to that time of the week. The reason why you're all here. So gather around, children of the village.
Take a seat round the fire because we will be burning our fire fuel is bookmarks because they are made of paper.
And paper burns.
Just like coal.
Just like coal does. That links to the thing we were earlier saying.
Exactly.
All hail the bookmarks.
I love it. It's always a pause and then just whatever the fuck comes to mind. Go on, let's hear all hail the bookmark boys.
Gather around the totem pole of the bookmark.
Hear ye. The town crier is in session and he has a message to spread.
We're kind of crashing medieval England with Native American, but that's fine. The totem pole is made of bookmarks, boys, on top of each other, built like a giant totem pole.
And the totem pole itself is a giant bookmark, boy. Why is that? Why are you stopping on that one? No, why are you blocking that one?
Because the totem pole, the whole point was, the totem pole is lots of things on top of each other.
Yeah, and those things on top of each other create a large bookmark.
But there's already loads of bookmarks.
Yeah, it's loads of bookmarks in itself to create a massive bookmark.
Okay, fine.
Why is that? Why are you struggling with that?
We gather around. We all pay tribute to the mother bookmark.
We pay tribute to David Schwimmer.
We pay tribute to Jeff Goldblum.
Ben Stiller. Richard
Joe
Madeley.
Exotic, Louis Theroux. We need some more bookmarks.
We need. Can you send us some more bookmarks?
We need to be stocked up
because
again.
I'm seeing that you're chucking out some new stock. So can you send us a new stock
Yeah,
so we
we've
can have
seen
some
that.
more stuff to work with?
But if you want to buy, this is old stuff. If you want to buy the new stuff, go on their website. She's a young mother.
She's just given birth.
The husband's left.
The husband is nowhere to be seen.
He's a deadbeat dad.
He's a deadbeat dad. He's a beatnik. He's out trying
He's a
to.
beatnik poet.
Yeah, he's out trying to pursue his dreams of poetry in San Francisco.
He's a dead beatnik dad.
But he's
poet.
got addicted to
beatnik dad poet.
PVC. Is it PVC? Or is that the glue?
PVC's the glue. But you could add to the story.
You could add to the story.
So the dead beatnik dad poet is addicted to PVC. He's not looking after the child.
And all she's got is bookmarks.
Help the woman.
Woman.
Support women.
Support
Leave women.
Support women by supporting bookmark boys.
You hay fever.
Right.
I'm currently struggling from hay fever.
Yeah, you need to stop itching. You
I
little
wasn't
bitch.
itching that much.
Right.
I
As we
resent
gathered
the tone.
As we gathered round the totem of bookmarks, everyone gather round. I am a fucking hay fever prophet.
Sure.
I am here to spread the word of how to grow up and deal with hay fever.
Okay.
Hay fever is a mindset, first of all.
Okay.
Not all of us have it, but those that do have it can address it with one key important word: discipline.
Yeah.
Hay fever is all about fucking discipline. Now, you're going to have it in situations worse than others, sure. Okay, I was at the park the other day. It wasn't easy sledding. There were some bumps along the road. But with discipline, I managed to maintain an evening, a somewhat achievable evening.
A somewhat enjoyable time out.
Somewhat enjoyable.
Yeah.
It wasn't as enjoyable as if I didn't have hay fever.
It wasn't the time of your life.
Wasn't the time of my life.
It wasn't a core memory.
Wasn't a core memory. But because I practiced discipline,
Yeah.
I was able to make it an average night.
Sure.
I was with my friend Max on Sunday.
Yeah.
We went to a London Bridge pub, sat by the River Thames.
Doesn't sound like you.
Doesn't sound like me.
Thameside in?
It was the Thameside in.
Yeah.
It was in the between the two of us. He was coming back from Sussex and he was going to London Bridge.
Yeah.
We sit there and he goes, yeah, the pollen's really strong this year. And I go, we're both going to Glastobury together as well. And I said, I hope you're all stocked up for Glastobury. He's sneezing at the moment. During this interaction, he's sneezing. He's rubbing his eyes. I'm telling him, don't rub your eyes, don't be a maniac. I said, have you taken all your stuff? He went, yeah. And then he's talking about getting an inhaler because it makes him it makes him wheeze and stuff, which is fine. An after effect, sure. It then boils down to like 15 minutes of conversation. It turns out the bloke hasn't been taking his nasal spray and his eye drops. Don't come to me with a hay fever problem if you're not taking your nasal spray and your eye drops.
There's no point even signing up for the hay fever therapy if you haven't even taken the most basic precautions of yourself.
It's
first.
like, what do you want me to do for
Yeah,
you here?
exactly.
Because you're clearly doing this to yourself.
Yeah.
You've got some sort of death wish.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, load up. For all you hay fever sufferers out there, load up on your stuff.
3 fronts, land, sea and air.
Land, sea, and air. What?
It's like the Russian invasion, land, sea and air.
Right.
You go for ports, you go airways. and
Block
you
your
go
airways.
land. Yeah.
Now, my top tip is to put some nasal spray in your ear because that's where it gets you. That's not true. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, load up on your stuff. If you're not doing that, then frankly, you're not worthy of this advice. But discipline. You got to think about it. Now, I said I'm a man of short-term pleasure and long-term who gives a fuck, but that is not true of hay fever because you can't enjoy short-term pleasure when you're sneezing every second. Yeah. What you got to do, don't itch that fucking nose. Do not touch those fucking eyes. You may want to for some short-term relief, but I guarantee you that's a day ender. That's a night ender. That's your going home, not being able to sleep, waking up feeling terrible.
You have been kicked out the villa.
Sorry, you're out. The public has voted you out. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because you're a pollen bitch.
Yeah.
And you need to be a pollen king. To be a true pollen king, you've got to exercise discipline. Do not touch anything. Do not touch any of your extremities. And I guarantee you, no matter how bad it feels, it will go in 3 minutes.
Sort of like spicy food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be careful around the eyes.
Yeah, but it's more like you. If it gets really hot, constantly trying to like drink water and stuff. If you just sit through the beginning of the pain, then you start getting used to it.
Exactly. That's all I wanted to say on it. Just
have you been watching any more Love Island?
yeah, a fair amount. Not loads.
Yeah.
I haven't seen loads of it, but
Have you seen Davide's outburst
yes.
when he bollocked that girl?
Akin Sue.
Yeah.
I think so.
How are your feelings about Davide now? Is he growing on you?
I've missed the bit where apparently
only seen one episode.
everyone's starting to apparently love him.
Yeah.
And I've missed that.
Yeah.
He's been quite quiet in the episodes I've watched. Apparently he did a funny joke and now everyone loves him.
Yeah.
Apparently he pretended to be a waiter. I didn't see much of the outburst. It was fun, I believe. I don't have a lot on it.
Fair enough. Well, actually, the meat and bones of the episode.
Did you watch it?
I watched the episode, but I was just wondering, because I've been away, I'm wondering if you managed to see more and had more to say on it.
No.
The meat and bones of the episode is Matt Letizia.
Yes.
Who is, as you know, a boy gone wild.
I think it's Gary Lineker.
Well, we'll let the because it's within our favourite genre, which is ex-footballers, ex-English footballers
weighing into politics,
weighing into politics and fucking up
with no requests.
It's
from
a genre
anyone.
of boy gone wild.
Yeah.
We've talked about Matt Letizia, who sort of automatically induced himself into the Hall of Fame just by denying the Buka war crimes. You know, it was a very quick one, actually. It was just bang.
With one tweet. With one press of that button, it's straight in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
And I got sent this by a listener, which is an hour and a half podcast of Matt Letizia on a sort of right-wing, almost hustle and grind set podcast that you see all over the place now.
Be the best Matt Letizia you can be.
Yeah. And it was him talking about cancellations. It was him talking very openly and quite aggressively about the state of politics. And when we thought it was him sticking his head above the parapet, getting headshotted, that's Matt Letizia done. We were wrong. He's come back full force, and he's now being treated like he's some sort of, he's some sort of expert on the matter.
Often there's a phrase that a comedian that I can't remember that you might know did a very good bit on when a lot of people say comedians are the new philosophers. And then he does a bit saying, like, what about, there's actually philosophers around now. It's a bit harsh on that. But often people say comedians are the new philosophers. I believe that ex-football players are the new philosophers. Yeah. They are our guiding light.
Yeah, well, just, political philosophers for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So what did he do? Did you watch it?
No, well, we only saw little bits here and there.
So the thing is, we don't have loads of stuff on this, is the only problem. He didn't, well, the thing we did see is he went on, and the guy went straight in with like, you got cancelled, and I hated his manner. And for some reason, have a look, loads of right-wing podcasters wear like these straps.
That are similar to like a New York cop's gun straps.
Yeah, it's like a holster.
A holster, yeah.
It's really odd. Just watch out for it. But he said, so you got fired from Sky. Why do you think that was? And he said a myriad of reasons. One, because of the new diversity quotas coming in. So instantly he's getting off on a great foot.
Yeah.
A strong start. The guy started off with a big left hook.
Yeah.
Then mentions his opinions on lockdown and masks.
Yeah.
Astonishingly, and maybe quite conveniently, he didn't mention him denying a Ukrainian or Russian war crime. Because that was the end of it.
That's the kind of key thing.
He's tried to, and that's the genius of Matt Letizia.
Yeah.
He's managed to find a way to blame it on black people.
Yeah.
Which not many people could pull off.
And while we were looking at that, I realised that a new story to add to the Glenn Hoddle, Matt Letizia into that pile.
Yeah.
Of an unexpected fuck up was from our boy Gary Lineker, who the squeaky clean boy of football.
It's nearly. It's got consideration to Hall of Fame.
I don't know. So we can have a conversation about it, but what you read this news story?
Yes.
Do you want to explain it?
Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
His name is Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
Let's just remember that.
Yeah.
Grew up in
Wayne Lineker's brother.
Wayne Lineker's brother. Grew up in Leicester.
Yeah. His parents.
No, don't do that. What were they? Thank you. That was a sidebar. Gary Lineker recently on a podcast claimed that because he had slightly darker skin, that at school he was the victim of racial abuse. Gary Lineker is a very white man. He might be a bit tan, but we had a look because like he's played on the continent, so we were trying to check how like he had some tan on it, but that was when he was playing in
Barcelona,
Spain. He wouldn't have had the same tan in Leicester when he was growing up.
Yeah.
His parents are called Barry and Margaret. I'm not sure that any child of Barry and Margaret has any potential to suffer racist abuse unless Gary Lineker went to the most racist school on the planet, where a slight tan would cause racial abuse from the students. Now, I'm not sure what to make of this because it's so insane that surely he's not making it up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think
It's a shame that he went for like the word racial abuse. I guess it in itself it is. I would love to hear some of the slurs against him because they can't have been like.
my problem is I've heard about this. I do believe this sort of stuff happens, which is when a white kid in an all-white school is slightly darker than them, and then they're like, "You'll do." As the centre of all the racist abuse they think when they see people on the telly.
Because they've got to get it out somewhere.
And it's like,
These
horrible,
horrible school kids.
There's no black people in our village. You'll have to do.
Bloody hell, yeah.
So,
what an awful, awful slice of England that is. What a horrible country we live in. If there's no actual black people to abuse because we're not diverse enough. So we'll bully the kid who's got a tan. That is fucking bleak.
So I know that happened. The real problem for me with what you said is that he was talking about it being formative.
Yeah.
That was the real issue. And he was talking about it being... It's fine to bring it up as a sidebar.
Kick it out.
As a side note. As like,
Yeah.
I even got it being
Yeah.
white. That's what he said. I even got it. But his thing was like, it was formative and he had to overcome it. It was like a real serious thing.
Yeah.
Which...
an important part of the Gary Lineker journey.
the
racial abuse.
He's launching a book.
Yeah. How I dealt with racism to become a footballer.
Forward by Wayne Lineker.
Epilogue by Margaret and Barry.
It's him slightly tanned in the front. Now, Gary Lineker is quite a unique member of the football community. Letitia and Glenn Hoddle, you get your Letitias and your Glenn Hoddles.
They've got wonky faces.
You get them all over the place.
And they have wonky takes.
So, exactly. Gary Lineker is clearly smart. He's good looking. He's presented crafts. Okay?
Has he?
Yeah. He's an ex-footballer who went football punditry
Yeah.
and was so good at that, he's actually...
Cut his teeth on crafts.
Yeah, which is a path that somehow Jermaine Genius has followed, which is absolutely shocking to me.
He's on the bloody
The One
show. He was interviewing like fucking someone important. Continue with your point. I was riveted.
I don't know how Jermaine Genius has followed that pathway. That it felt like Gary Lineker was a generational talent who managed to break through that. Jermaine Genius
Is he
not
squeaky
that.
clean?
Who?
Jermaine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the charisma.
Absolutely not.
I'd rather someone like Michael Owen was making the transition.
My argument is
one show, get Michael Owen on.
My argument is make him present everything. Every show on the planet. Every show on the fucking planet. Because why not? You don't like presenters
He would be kind of suited for something like golf commentary or something like that. I don't know, just like the kind of...
No. Because it would make it horrible. Like, you can't... If his sport's already a bit boring, you can't add his droll in there. Otherwise, it's fucking bleak.
So, yeah, he's interested in that. And then he talked about being bullied for being like a small geek and stuff like that. And that was kind of part of it. So it is interesting. He does have an interesting story and he does stand out. And he's also been very... very vocal about politics. Like, he was vocal about refugees.
Gaz, yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Well, him and Letitia have had altercations.
Yeah, because they sort of... they kind of occupy the opposite ends of the ex-footballer spectrum.
Yeah.
One has a job on telly, one doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they came to blows previously whilst they both still had jobs on telly. There was something about it because they just had different beliefs.
Oh, really? I didn't know Letitia was causing carnage early doors.
Because I think in an interview post Sky axing, Letitia mentioned the Lineker debacle, Lineker gate. But I don't know exactly what it was about. I'm sure Gary said something,
horrendously offensive.
Yeah, like let refugees into the country.
But yeah, speaking of political issues, there's a rail strike on. Have you been affected by the rail strike?
I will be. I'm
When?
trying to get to Glastonbury.
On the day of a rail strike?
Well, so it's not actually... Technically, it's not on the day of the rail strike.
But it's
because
Thursday.
fortunately, we're going on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
But there will be severe disruption. And I think one of the big... there's... On, the BBC page, it's a big thing is, it's during Glastonbury, which is obviously a big old festival.
Oh, so and it's also traveling to festivals
It's a fucking...
It's some of the worst
It's a
experiences I've had in my
clusterfuck.
life.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to this at all.
So how are you... So it's going to make
There's trains. There are trains.
But everyone's going to be on them.
Well, no, I think Glastonbury's always busiest on like the Wednesday and the Thursday. That's when most people go down.
When are you going?
Friday.
Well, the trains won't be cancelled then, aren't they?
So there's still, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure about I haven't looked up the trains for Thursday because I'm not going on Thursday. I think it might be. I think they're still doing some to Glastonbury because they're like it would cause fucking chaos if you've got that many people trying to get to that field.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So it's going to be fine, I believe. I hope.
Yeah.
But you just don't really know what you're going to get.
What are your thoughts on the rail strike? Have you looked into it at all?
Yeah, I mean, God bless them.
Yeah.
God bless them. They're obviously not paid enough. They're obviously doing essential service. I think I saw Boris's response that they couldn't afford like the pay rise. Mm-hmm. Like, fucking find money. I don't care anymore. It's just like look, we're going through a cost of living crisis. We all need fucking pay rises, or we're not going to be able to do that. So it's just, I don't know. I obviously stand by the rail workers.
Boys Gone Wild
I don't
stands
mind
by the
minor.
strike.
I will always, Boys Gone Wild stand by the strike. I'll always like minor inconveniences. Whatever. It's going to be a bit more annoying for me to get to Glastonbury.
Well,
I can fucking deal with that if it maybe means a pay rise for people that work hard.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the media class go all guns blazing at the rail strike. From all angles, it's just picking it very aggressively against the rail strike. And apparently there was a Twitter poll done by Jeremy Vine Show, which was anti the strike, the TV show.
Really?
The poll was 90% in favour of the strike.
Really? Yeah.
I think people are.
I just think people like.
I think people are. There's an interesting support because of the anti-government, where you often get people who hate the strike because of the inconvenience, and they think they're kind of scroungers or something like that.
Which is a mental view to hold.
Yeah, but I think the hatred of the government has forced.
Maybe.
And I'd say looking at the things, it's like the argument sort of is basically everyone's getting fucked. And
no one's striking for me during my disciplinary.
Exactly. But everyone's getting fucked. But the reason why I think that sort of doesn't apply is everyone's getting fucked, but the railways are some of the only things that have a strong enough union or an essential service that can strike.
Strong enough union, yeah.
They might as well do it. And I guess you can understand why people can feel like, well, I deserve a pay rise that's not in rise with inflation. I haven't been paid fairly for the last 3 years.
I guess jealousy can come in.
Well, it's just like we're all doing this, so you're not special. But then they're the only ones who hold enough levers of power.
So God bless you, man.
So God bless you. That's what I think.
Kinship with that.
I just think that because they can, because it's very hard to strike.
Well, it's very hard to strike for what's the fucking word? What do you do?
Podcast producer,
or
editor,
no,
comedian.
like self-employed or whatever.
Freelancers.
A freelancer strike is not really going to bring the country to its knees, is it?
Bring it to its knees.
No more. We're not going to produce any more podcasts for a week.
It's sometimes good to have when you have a strike when it's just sort of like you're just letting someone know you're there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's a body jab and it's being like, I'm here.
Yeah, no, and I think it's got that, and also
let you know I'm here.
I think I'll also just unanimously support a strike. It's just like letting the power know that we still got some collective power. Letting the institutions know.
There's obviously been
the
badly
workers
managed
and people
strikes.
still have some collective
There's
power.
obviously been some strikes that haven't been perfect. There's obviously ones that slightly missed the mark, but supporting the idea of just letting them know. We're here, boy.
Always. And we can collectivise if we need to.
And I would argue, so there's been a lot of...
is this a Horatio Gould pontification point?
It is a pontification. There's a lot of interviews with the leader of the strike, the bald guy.
Yeah. Ian Eanson, I
he
believe
might,
his name is.
he looks like Ian Eanson. He looks like an Ian. Yeah. My God, he looks like an Ian.
Double Ian. Ian Eanson.
I don't actually know his name. Is it Grant Shapps?
No idea.
That's the travel secretary. Do you think... Because I wonder if by nature of having a voice in society, you cease to be working class, from being a trade union leader. Because you think about working class people, working class artists, they sort of cease. So like the Gallagher brothers, they're not really working class anymore. They're working class backgrounds. If you ever get to the point where you're famous or like known or have a voice or have any sort of kind of power, you
I guess money goes into it as well.
Money as well.
On the crude sense of what class
Money,
is.
but there's also the cultural side.
Yeah.
If you ever enter the phase where you're well known or have basic power, you sort of cease to become working class by definition. Apart from union leaders who have a voice,
but they're using it for the collectivization of the people that don't have
a voice. But then he'll genuinely be working class.
Yeah,
and will have a voice.
But that's more because it's like a figurehead to assemble the different different aims of the people, of the collectivized people who don't have a voice.
But he has power.
Yeah, but the power comes from the collectivized.
It does come from it, but so does a lot of places.
So
does a head of a company.
Yeah, no, that's true. I agree.
But I'm more saying it's interesting. Could you think of any in society how power is disseminated of anyone who has power who's genuinely working class?
I doubt that. No.
Because by definition they cease to be, apart from if they're a union leader.
Yeah, I mean by definition, yeah, because there's many ways to define it.
Yeah. But then he probably, I mean, it's just more the people with the voice, people who are being interviewed on Good Morning Britain for, I don't know, who have power. They don't seem to live a genuine working class life. If they were, they wouldn't be.
So they might be upholding the ideals of the working class, but they themselves cease to become it.
Because they've left
when
that
they
background.
have the power to,
But apart from
that.
he's making 80k a year, so I don't know if that ceases to be. But he probably engages.
Yeah.
So even then, maybe not. But it's the closest culturally I can see.
Yeah,
any working class politician.
That's an interesting point.
As soon as you become an MP, you're not working class, obviously.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what background you come from. As soon as you're in House of Commons, you kind of cease to be working class.
And that's how the system gets you. Quick question.
We got to go very soon. So
very quick question.
We'll go out on this.
When people say don't fill up on bread,
yeah,
because that's how they get you, right? Yeah, you with me?
Yeah.
You know that phrase, at restaurants. I think it's even a song. Don't fill up a bread, that's how they get you.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. People who say,
don't
fill up on bread.
You'll probably not have...
You probably eat less.
Yeah, you won't have room for pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't spend 12 quid on a fucking
people
cheesecake.
I've heard,
You got the free bread.
I don't get it. People think it's a con, but if anything, it's making them less money.
If I was Greasy Hands Gould and I was running a restaurant...
A greasy spoon?
Yeah.
Greasy hand, Gould, greasy spoon?
Yeah. No, because a greasy spoon, you wouldn't have a... It wouldn't...
This greasy spoon does. Don't put yourself down.
I feel you're putting me in...
No.
It's a fancy restaurant with bread on the table, which is a strange thing.
I wouldn't give them any bread.
And it is a good thing if you're eating a lot of meals out.
No, love it. But then I just don't get why people think it's a scam. Because you won't buy pudding. Why do people think it's a con?
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard this
phrase a lot. I've heard it too much. Anyway, that's it.
We'll be carrying on this conversation in the Patreon. Thank you very much for listening.
The bread conversation.
We're
going to do half an hour more on bread at restaurants.
Thrilling bread conversation. We'll carry on in the Patreon. Thanks very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.